Hyperion by Hölderlin. Page 122. Hyperion to Diotima. We have managed to celebrate your birthday, beautiful being. Before the uproar begins, it was a heavenly day. The lovely springtime wafted and shone from the east, conjured your name from us, as it conjures the flowers from the trees, and all the blessed secrets of love took my breath away. My friend had never known of such a love as ours, and it was ravishing to see how attentive the proud man became, and how his eye and his spirit glowed as they strove to apprehend your image, your being. "Oh," he cried at last, "our Greece is well worth fighting for when it still bears such offspring." "Yes, indeed, my Alabanda," said I. "Then we go joyfully into battle. Then a divine fire drives us on to do high deeds when our spirit is rejuvenated by the image of such natures. Then we run for no petty goal. Then we are not concerned for this thing and that thing. Do not tinker with outsides, unheeding the spirit, nor drink the wine for the cup's sake. Then we will not rest, Alabanda, until the ecstasy of the genius is a secret no longer, when all eyes are transformed into triumphal arches from which man's spirit, long absent, shines forth out of error and sufferings, and greets the paternal ether in the joy of victory. Ha! Let no one think to know our people as they are to be from their flag alone. Everything must be rejuvenated, everything be changed from the ground up. Pleasure must be full of seriousness, and all work gleeful nothing. Not even the least and most commonplace of things must be without spirit and the gods. Love and hate and every tone from us must make the commoner world wonder. Not a single moment must ever dare to remind us of the flat past." Hyperion to Diotima. The volcano is erupting. The Turks are besieged in Coron and Modon, and we are pushing on against the Peloponnesius with our mountaineers. Now all depression is ended, Diotima, and my spirit is firmer and swifter, since I am occupied with vital work, and lo, I now even have a daily schedule. I begin with the sun. I go out to where my troops are lying in the shadow of the woods, and greet the 1,000 clear eyes that now open to me with wild affection. An awakening army. I know of nothing like it, and all the life of towns and villages is like a swarm of bees in comparison. Man cannot hide it from himself. Once he was happy, like the stag in the forest, and even now, after untold years, there rises in us a longing for the days of the primal world, when he roved over the earth like a god, before I know not what tamed man, and instead of walls and dead wood, the soul of the world, sacred air, still wrapped him in its universal presence. Diotima, I am often filled with wonder when I go about among my carefree men, and one after another stands up and stretches himself toward the dawn, and among the martial groups the crackling flame rises. Where the mother sits with the freezing infant, where the restoring dish is cooking, while the horses, sniffing the day, snort and whinny, and the wood resounds with shattering military music, and everywhere glitters and rings with weapons. But these are words, and the unique pleasure of such a life cannot be told. Then my troop gathers eagerly around me, and it is wonderful how even the oldest and most recalcitrant respect me. For all my youth, we become more and more intimate, and many a one tells me what his life has been, and my heart often swells with their so various fates. Then I begin to speak of better days, and their eyes open wide and shine when they think of the covenant that will unite us, and the proud image of the free state that is soon to be looms before them. All for each and each for all, there is a joyous spirit in the words, and always it catches up my men too, like a divine decree. Oh, Diotima, to see how their stubborn natures are softened by hopes, and all their pulses beat more strongly, and the gloom-clouded brow is smoothed and cleared by planning, to stand there in a sphere of men surrounded by faith and joy, that is more, far more than to behold earth and sky and sea in all their glory. Then I drill them in weapons and marching until toward noon. The happy mood makes them eager pupils, as it makes me a teacher. Now they stand close together in the Macedonian phalanx, moving only their arms. Now, like rays, they fly in different directions to more hazardous combat, in separate squads, where their flexible strength changes with every position, and each is his own general. Then assemble again in a place of safety, and always wherever they go or stand in this sort of war dance, before their eyes and mind floats the image of the tyrant's cohorts and the field of real battle. Then, when the sun shines hotter, we hold council deep in the wood, and it is a joy thus in quiet thought to determine our great future. We strip chance of its power, we master destiny. We let resistance arise as suits our purpose. We lure the enemy into actions for which we are prepared, or we bide our time and appear to be afraid and let him come nearer until he exposes his head to our blow, as we utterly disconcert him with our speed. And that is my cure-all. But the more experienced physicians do not hold with such a panacea. After that, how well I feel in the evening with my Alabanda, when we rove for pleasure around the sun-red hills on our spirited horses, and on the summits where we linger, the wind plays in the manes of our mounts, and the soothing rustle mingles with our talk, while we gaze into the distances of Sparta, which are the prize for which we shall fight. And then, when we have returned and sit together in the pleasant cool of night, and the wine cup is sweet in our nostrils, and the moon's rays light our frugal meal, and amid our smiling silence the history of the men of old rises like a cloud from the soil that bears us. How blissful it is in such moments to grasp each other's hands. Then perhaps Alabanda speaks of many another whom the ennui of this century torments, of so many a strangely crooked course that life takes, now that its straight path has been blocked. And then I think, too, of my Adamas with his journeyings, his strange longing for the innermost parts of Asia. These are but stopgaps, dear old man, I would fain cry to him then. Come and build your world with us, for our world is yours too. And yours too, Diotima, for it is copied after you. Oh, you, with your Elysian quiet, could we but create that which you are.